Hi gang, welcome back to the Unraised Latina Ever. I need to explain socialism in a very simplistic way for everybody so you can get it, because I figure the way we do it and educate the people out there is we have to dummy everything down, just like when you're in public education. Years ago, I thought it would be really great to support our Republican leaders. I was invited by a friend to attend the Latino or Latina or Latina, whatever, the Hispanic leadership, because that covers, guys and girls, down in Miami. And it was a fundraiser for Jeb Bush. And, when I go to all these events, and I'm invited or asked, I always try to figure out who backs them and who is the biggest shot in the room. And then I make a beeline towards them. And it's really wonderful for the media because sometimes I'm getting filmed, but at this event I wasn't being filmed. And that's just so not like things for the Honorary Latina, because I'm used to being the center of attention. And so when I came down to Florida, I wasn't the center of attention. I was invited to these places, but I was very irrelevant. So I met this guy who was backing Jeb Bush, and his name was Fred Malik. And I decided to do a little research on the guy, because I think it's really important to research people to see what they're all about. But I also, before I did my research, thought I would make a beeline and ask for a picture. And he looked scared. And Rosario took the picture. She worked for the Bush administration, another Hispanic woman. She was the Secretary of Treasury for George W. Bush. So she took the picture of me and Mr. Malik together. And after we got the picture of him looking scared, I thought that would be a perfect time to address illegal immigration. Oh, how dare me address illegal immigration, right? So I did, and he basically was fidgeting, and he looked like he wanted to get out of the room, and I was telling him what a pendejo the Republican Party is, because I had blocked the DREAM Act in Oregon with the liberals there. And that's when I had my little accident. Remember my accident, the head-on crash right after I lobbied legislation. So I wanted to explain to you all about socialism, okay? So the Democrats think that everything should be for everybody and we all work in unity. I wanted to give you a picture. Will, our artist back here, made these little drawings, not me. It's so cute. So this is the human, that's us, the humans, and this is the ant. Human, ant, okay? See? Okay. We are humans, we're not ants. Okay, next. Okay, so the humans make big cities and stuff like that. The ants have like a little ant farm, and they all work together for the queen bee ant, and they have an ant farm and mounds of dirt, and they build these little cities all together in unity, and we build sky rises and stuff. Okay, now the end result of this all is that humans, we make money. We make money, and we are responsible for ourselves. And the little ants, gosh, all they work for is crumbs. Crumbs. All they get is crumbs. Okay? So this is the difference between a Republican and a Democrat. So the object of Jeb Bush and his Hispanic leadership wasn't to address the border being open. It wasn't to address the homeland security and the terrorism coming into this country. It was simply on socialism, how to give Latinos health care and education like DREAM Acts and all sorts of free things, because they were Latinos. No, they were Hispanics, okay? Illegally. So I'm sitting at this table with all these generals, but they weren't like U.S. generals. They were Hispanic generals from other countries that were friends of Jeb's. And the first thing they asked me is, Dee, why are you so racist? What do you have against Hispanics? And I said to them with my glass of wine in hand, I I'm not a racist. I love Hispanics, you know, like we all love people coming from different countries. Like we love people from India and Russia and wherever they come from, right? We love them so long as they want to be a part of our country and go about things the right way. We don't want them to come in on a visa and just procreate and think that baby gives them the right of citizenship or passage. So it's not just illegal immigrants that are Mexican heritage. It's a problem that's all across the board, because we don't address here in Florida how all the technology is being outsourced to the people from India. We're not addressing that they're overstaying their visas too, because gosh, you know, that would be so racist. So we're going to single out the fruit pickers, because nobody wants to do the fruit jobs. Oh, but no, we're not smart enough to do the technology jobs, which is a bunch of bullcrap, by the way. So the Common Core education that Jeb was pushing really is all about dumbing down the American education system. And the whole DREAM Act was just simply about figuring a way how to give our money to people that were coming here illegally on a visa, a free education. And really nothing is free when it's at somebody else's expense. So now, another issue that we're having is that if the government takes over the healthcare in every aspect of our lives, maybe they might take over the colleges too. And we couldn't have a for-profit school, because God forbid you made a profit, because see, they want us to be like ants, indoctrinated in this brainwashing that you have to accept the crumbs that they give you, or what you get. You're going to all work for nothing. Who is going to be inspired to work for nothing? I mean, I did. I mean, I worked for the GOP party for a lot of years, and I worked for free, so thinking that was going to be working for freedom, and then finding out that our biggest, most successful, most richest GOP people of them all, you know, sons of a former president, you know, we're all behind this socialistic system that obviously failed in other countries. So what did we learn from England and all those other places? Well, you open the border, you let everybody in, and guess what? You might have groups and militias of people that are planning terrorist attacks. And then you're scratching your head and going, why and how did this happen? Well, it happened because we invited them all in. We said, come over, you know, we don't care enough about ourselves to protect the country. And so that's where I wanted to do this video, to kind of educate you in the indoctrination of socialism and how they use human rights as a way of indoctrination. Oh, you cannot support this, the money-making machine, because that's not really for people. You're not a person that cares about others, and in reality, people that actually make money create jobs, and without jobs we don't have a government, and if we don't have balance, then what do we have? We have places like that are very corrupt, like in Mexico. I know that you get pulled over by a police officer, even if you run a stop sign, you might go to jail for that, and you have no rights. Or if you're in the Middle East and you simply are born a woman, and you are pawned off to be married, and say your husband gets sick of you and he wants to take another bride. I mean, sometimes he can do that, but maybe if his family really followed the religion very carefully, maybe he couldn't take another bride, or maybe he didn't have the money to take another bride, but he could simply say that you were having an affair. And under Sharia law, they could just plant you in the middle of the street, put rocks in everybody's hands, and just stone you to death. So we got to think about what we support and how it impacts us as a global society, as a human society. Because for people going, oh, well, some Muslims are okay. Well, it would be like saying some illegals are okay. Some of them are bad, some of them are good. Maybe it might say some thieves are good, you know, like the ones that work on Wall Street. It's okay to steal, you know, so long as it's cleverly done, but you know, mainly people work their whole life for a savings account, and they might be in a company that will invest it in a stock market and to rig the system so that some people win while the poor working class, you know, loses everything, is simply not cool. So we have a system. It's as good as it gets. It's better than most places. It's not perfect by any means, but we certainly don't want to end up like a bunch of ants, because then that would be like Africa or countries like that, where people simply rise up and fight against each other, like the Hutu and the Tutsi rebels who, you know, killed each other off because of some sort of government propaganda, and don't believe all the stuff that you hear and read in the papers. Be your own thinker and think about things, because what's being taught in school is that we're all expected to be a bunch of ants working together for the common good of all, and then all end up with crumbs, and then how are future generations going to move on with that? They simply won't. Anyway, just some food for thought. Just know your party, know the candidate. Don't just go party line straight. I mean, I know a lot of people think, oh, I'm going to vote for the less of two evils, and you end up with somebody like John McCain, who's just, we can't get him out of office. And this guy, you know, he's like Charlie Crist. He goes both ways. He simply does. I mean, he actually had Fred Malek on his finance committee. So think about it, do your research, and find out who you're supporting, because the guy that offends you the most may be the most reliable guy that's out there. I mean, think about it.